Today is August 1st. Is Adobe cutting Flash? And is AT&T cutting your data speeds? Continue watching to find out. Well, Adobe is not really cutting Flash from its lineup. Flash is still going to be with us, not on mobile Apple devices, but with any other device that you may have, your Windows computer, Apple desktop, laptop, any device that has Flash right now will continue having Flash. But what Adobe is releasing is called Adobe Edge, which makes it easy for developers to code for HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript, which are really old competitors against Adobe Flash, which mostly is used for video or online Flash video games that you play on your computer. Adobe in a way has practically been forced to go this method because of Apple. Really is the main cause of this. Adobe tried to get Apple to put Flash on their iPods and iPhones and everything else, and iPads, but it never happened. Apple refused and probably will never put Flash on any of the devices. They even hate Flash on their desktops because they reported Flash causes the most problems on their Apple desktops next to graphics drivers. And this has forced Adobe pretty much to develop towards the industry standard, which is now becoming HTML5, because all the mobile devices support that, and since the mobile device industry is rising so rapidly, it has to go with what the industry wants to make money, and that's how Adobe has to go. But it doesn't want to get rid of Flash, as it's like, good analogy would be like if you were fighting for something and then all of a sudden you just stopped fighting and gave up, people would like make fun of you for giving up so easily. And the same as Adobe was fighting to keep Adobe Flash because it's so popular and they make a lot of money off of it. And if they just stop fighting, it just dies, and people would just make fun of Adobe for stop trying and stuff like that. That's just my opinion on the matter. Now moving on to AT&T, what I would say is they might be cutting data speeds. Well, this is true for AT&T and Verizon I know of, but it only matters to you of those who are locked into your unlimited data plan, or so-called unlimited data plan. Like it's always been, I've always been considering a 5 GB cap. Now, however, it doesn't matter, it's still unlimited, it's now truly unlimited. But what they will do to the top 5% of people who use the most data on, of course, for AT&T is just adding this, and Verizon's had this since the beginning of the year. The top most 5% of data users will be throttled. Their data, which goes down to, for AT&T, be edge speeds, and Verizon, I guess, to be their old data, non-3G data speeds, and which is considerably slower than 3G for AT&T or Verizon, which is more so like maybe dial-up, just over double dial-up speed, which hurts. But unfortunately, if you do go over that data cap in the top 5%, your next billing period will reset and you'll be back to your fast speed again. A lot of people complain about this, but in the first place, if you read the fine print when you first signed up for your data plan, for the unlimited data plan on really any carrier, it was never truly unlimited. They said you have a 5 GB cap, even though the majority of the time, unless you went considerably over that cap, they never did anything about it. And for me personally, the most data I have ever used is, I think, about 3 GB of the 5 GB they said I'd get. So I never got close to going over and seeing what happened if I went over my data cap. However, now if you have a new tiered data plan for any of the carriers, this doesn't matter to you, and you will not be throttled because you're paying for less data anyway. So they don't care if you use over the data, you're paying for it, versus just getting your speed slowed down and not paying any extra. In my opinion, I think the carriers have every right to do this, even though now they've been advertising as unlimited. At the time, it wouldn't have been unlimited, for the fact is, nobody really streamed video. There's not even really an app to stream video on your phone, so it wasn't possible. So it wasn't possible to use 5 GB of data doing web pages or stuff like that. You couldn't stream music, couldn't do any of the stuff you can today on a data plan. So data users hardly used any data, and so they considered it unlimited web browsing in the fine print because you can never possibly use that much. And you web browse like 10 hours a day on your phone, and for the whole month you can never use your 5 gigabyte cap, so it is considered unlimited. But truly, once now you got to today's age, people can stream YouTube, stream music, web browse constantly, Facebook constantly, photos, send in photos, everything streamed, uploading video from your phone. Data usage is like exponentially rose over the years and is continuing to rise, and the carriers have every right to limit the data usage if they go over a certain amount, because usually the people who are in the top 5% are probably not using just the phone as data on the phone. They're probably tethering that phone to a computer to use as their main internet connection, trying to save money, not having to pay for like the landline or whatever that we have here for my computers. But that just doesn't work because you use hundreds of gigabytes in some cases from that. And that's what the carriers don't want people doing, is because that puts a lot more stress on the network, causing slower data speeds for everyone else and drop calls and such thing, which is why AT&T's network could not handle the iPhones, because such a heavy increase in data usage when the iPhone came out, and that's what caused most of the problems. And now they're much better, still not as good as I would say Verizon. Verizon made sure its data networks were up to snuff when they received the iPhone, and so none of the problems occurred with Verizon like they did with AT&T. I hope you enjoyed the stories for today. Remember, you will not be seeing me the rest of this week or next Monday, and I'll be seeing you next Wednesday. Thanks for watching.